Hey everyone, it's Jay with Daily Creak. How you doing today? It's Tuesday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We celebrate Cinco de Mayo at home with a bag of tortilla chips, and that's our Cinco de Mayo. Well, today, man, where do I start? I do have some things to pass along to you, but first I'm going to do just a little tiny little rant at the beginning here. Today, I got gas. This was kind of the last thing I did before I came home. I got gas at Costco, and it was $5.39.9 per gallon at Costco, and that is about the cheapest place you can get it in the town I live in Washington. I just thank goodness that I am not a resident of California because I'd be paying over $7 a gallon down there probably. Crazy, crazy. Now, my little rant with respect to gas prices is going to be this. Since I live in Washington, we have a governor of the state named Bob Ferguson. Prior to him, we had Jay Inslee. And Inslee was governor for 12 years. Way too long, if you ask me. Anyway, he instituted, along with the legislature, a 50 cent carbon tax per gallon on gas. So we've been paying that for a few years. Our total gas taxes in Washington come to about $1.40 a gallon, roughly, give or take a few pennies. That's just the state gas tax. That doesn't count the federal or anything else. So what I'm wondering is, why hasn't Governor Bob Ferguson, in light of the fact that companies are now leaving the state because they also propose an income tax, which, no way, man. Companies are leaving the state. People are struggling to put gas in their car. Now, I'm not talking about the people that are fairly well off. I mean, they're still going to feel it, but people like us who live on Social Security and what little we make with side hustles, $5.40 a gallon is not going to cut it for very long. Especially if you're driving a ride share and you have to put in, you know, way more gas than what you really want to, or spend way more than what you really want to. So that's one part of my rant. The other part of the rant is, and this regards the cost of living around here, or just about any place, I guess. My experience is just around here in Washington. Maybe you can share some of your experiences in the comments. That would be good. Like what your gas prices are, what your cost of living is, that kind of thing. So, I had a nail in one of my tires on my car. And so I went to a rather reputable tire dealership that you will all, or at least some of you in the western half of the United States, will recognize. And they have red and yellow signs, and the guy that founded it is now deceased. So if you live in the West, you probably know who I'm talking about. But I'm not trying to throw shade on them. But they told me that the nail that was stuck in my tire punctured in exactly the same place as where I had it patched previously. Now, what are the chances of that happening? I say 0. I say there's relatively no chance, not relatively, I say there's no chance of that ever happening. And if it did, I think I'm the first. I ran over a nail or a screw, whatever it was, and I saw it sticking in the tire. And it went right in where I had it patched before. Talk about a coinkydink. So, I left there with a spare, the tiny little spare, on my right rear of my car. I couldn't go over 50 miles an hour. So I decided I was going to buy a set of tires. Because I got one bad one out of 4. And I'm kind of due for tires anyway. Or at least I would be shortly. So I didn't buy them from the place that told me about, what happened to my, leaky tire. I went to another very reputable, fairly famous tire dealership in this part of the country, and maybe even, I don't know how far they go to the rest of the country. And I couldn't afford 4 tires. It would have cost me $1,300, including tax, for 4 new tires. What am I supposed to do? We live on Social Security. I make a pittance doing rideshare. I don't make any money on this YouTube channel yet. I don't know if I ever will. But I can't afford $1,300 set of tires. 4 tires, $1,300. That's with our, what do we got here in my town is like a 10% sales tax. So I got 2 tires. I put 2 new tires on the back. Took the 2 of the best of the remaining 3 and put them on the front. And it cost me just a little under $600 for 2 tires. It's ridiculous. So seniors, if you're a senior and you're watching this, which I don't expect that everybody's that's going to watch this is going to be a senior, but if you're not a senior, you should also take this advice. It's time for everybody watching this video to gird your loins, because we're in a world of hurt. Gas prices are going to keep going up. I don't want to make this political, but regardless of what Trump says, the gas prices are still going to go up. Housing prices are still going up. And good Lord, in Washington, in Western Washington, where we live, there's almost nothing available to rent that's under $2,000 a month. And that's for 1 bedroom. You might be able to get a studio or an efficiency apartment for that. But it's going crazy here, as it is everywhere. And it's all relative. I mean, you might not have the highest cost of living where you live. I know down in California that it's a little bit higher, a little bit costlier to live there than it is here in Western Washington, but not by a lot. The average housing price, or the average real estate price for a house in the city of Seattle, for example, is up over $800,000. And that's if you can, I don't know, that's a bargain. Down the street from us, we live in just a real average neighborhood, a middle-class neighborhood. Down the street, not even a block away, they just built 4 massive houses, and they're trying to sell them for $1.5 million a piece. Who can afford that stuff? I don't know. Anyway, The reason you need to gird your loins is, and by girding your loins, I mean you need to get prepared, especially if you're a senior. If you haven't done these things already, now is the time to get yourselves prepared for some long-term hurt. And by that I mean economic hurt, food price hurt, supply chain hurt, higher gas price hurt, medical expenses hurt, you name it. When you go to the store to buy your groceries for the week, buy a little bit extra every time you go. Buy an extra can of this or an extra can of that. You need to stock up. You really do. We did some of that in the last, probably 3 years. And we're sitting pretty good as far as that goes. But we can always use more. Food's not going to get any cheaper. It's just not. Maybe eggs. I think eggs are probably about as cheap as they're going to get. But you're going to get tired of eating eggs. As good as they are for you. Take care of those things that need to be taken care of. If you need your car maintenance caught up, you need to take care of that. Take care of it as soon as you can. Stay up with the oil changes. Stay up with the regular maintenance of your vehicles. Stay up with the regular maintenance of your living situation, especially if you own a house. Because, man, it's not going to get cheaper. And I know you've probably heard people sounding the alarm on this kind of thing before, but I didn't totally buy into it. I mean, I'm pretty cautious when it comes to this kind of stuff. But right now, we're feeling the pain, and it's painful. It really is. It's really painful. So if you're a senior, you need to take care of these things. And make sure that you have some kind of a network of friends or people at your church or family members that you can rely on if something happens where you just are unable to get around or, God forbid, feed yourself. I mean, you can't take advantage of food banks if you have to. There's CSA programs all over. Just take care of yourself and be ready, because this is not going to be pretty. It's coming and it's not going to be pretty. And if you're not a senior and you are a son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter, or you have a special senior in your life, by God, you better take care of them. Because they took care of you for years. You better take care of them. That's really all I got for you today. Next video will be maybe a little bit less emotional. Because I'll tell you, I really had it today. And there's really not much more I can say. Take care of yourselves. Prepare. Be ready. It's going to get very ugly. Romans 10:9. See you on the next one.